Stephanie Montero here from the Layland Museum, bringing you an artifact spotlight about a saddle from the founding collection of the museum that belonged to frontiersman, trapper, soldier, guide, Kit Carson. Kit Carson was born in 1809 in Kentucky and grew up between Kentucky and Missouri, lost his father at age 9, and at age 15, he set out with a wagon train on the Santa Fe Trail. From there, he also went through the Sierra Nevada mountains and then the Rocky Mountains, and over that next 15 years or so, he cemented his reputation as one of the great mountain men, trapper, hunters. By 1840, he settled in Taos, married a lady named Josefa, who was a daughter of a prominent local family, bought a house there, which is now a museum, and you can visit it if you're ever in Taos, and raised 8 children there. In 1842, he was hired by a gentleman named John C. Fremont to guide expeditions to map the Western trails. And John C. Fremont wrote about all of those expeditions. They became very widely read, those reports, and they made Kit Carson into a national hero. They thought of him as a rugged mountain man. He could pretty much superhuman in what he could do. He also was a military scout for many years, and in 1865 was even made a brigadier general and cited for gallantry. The saddle that we have was collected by W.H. Layland on a trip to Taos in 1914, and it is marked presented by the regiment. In style, it has elements of both Santa Fe and early Texas saddles when they were starting to have regard for the comfort of both the rider and the horse. It has a leather-covered tree, tooled and stamped leather, a lot of leather skirting that, again, protects the horse and the rider, a single cinch ring, and bentwood stirrups. Also, cavalry saddles would not have had horns because that would have been an impediment to the rider perhaps using a weapon. But for a scout, that is actually different. What you'll see here is a pie plate saddle horn, called that because of the size of the saddle horn is almost that of a pie plate. And it's a little hard to see, but you can see it's not raised very far above the pommel. So it would not have functioned at all for cattle hand work, but for his purposes, it is perfect. That pie plate saddle horn is a perfect place to rest the rifle and kind of balance it across there while you're riding. And clearly, that's exactly what Kit Carson did, because you can see the leather's completely worn off across the front of that horn. So again, in 1914, Mr. Layland made a trip to Taos. He found the saddle and purchased and brought it back, along with many other objects that he found on that trip. And it is part of the founding collection of the Layland Museum, and we're extremely fortunate to have it. So thank you so much for joining us for another Artifact Spotlight. We will see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock at the Cleburne Railroad Museum Facebook page for another Artifact Spotlight. Have a great day.